Hi, I'm Danny Brown. I'm the CEO of Myriad Real Estate Group, and this is going to be our August market update. So right now we are in 115 plus degree weather here in Phoenix, and typically this time of year we see a pullback in the market, which we are absolutely seeing. We see a lot of sellers delist this time of year, meaning that they tried to sell their home, didn't sell, so they pull it off the market during the summer months. We typically see buyers take a little bit of a breather as well because they are going out of town, taking vacations, kids aren't in school, so it's very difficult to view properties when you're having to lug your kids around. And so we typically see a bit of a pullback in the market this time of year. And we're actually seeing that in inventory that is echoing that. So we've seen a steady decline week over week in our inventory here in Greater Phoenix. And we are right now hovering around 17,000 active listings on the market. And that kind of seems to be leveling out and the bottom. I think that we'll start to see an increase in listing activity as we get further into August and as we approach September. Right now, interest rates have gone back up, so they're actually at their highest levels in quite some time, and that is all because the war in Iran has picked back up, and with that war in Iran, we're expecting to see higher rates of inflation, and so the markets are expecting the Fed to potentially increase interest rates, where for most of this year, they were predicting that the Fed would be decreasing interest rates, so it's been a complete 180, and it's all because of the war in Iran and the cost of oil going up. Now we have seen a little bit of a pullback and a pause in that war right now. And so we've seen the 10-year come down. We've seen the cost per barrel of oil come down. So this is a moving target on what's going to happen over there and what's going to happen with interest rates. But the good news is volatility, if you will, has been very minor with mortgage rates because the spread between mortgage rates and the 10-year has narrowed, gotten close to normal. So we're sitting pretty much right in the mid sixes. So not a big swing in terms of interest rates due to what's happening over there. So what can buyers expect right now is continuing to increase affordability. What's really interesting is a stat that came out today about the local Phoenix market is that homes right now are the most affordable they've been since prior to 2024. So that's taking into consideration interest rates, wage growth, and inflation. And so we're seeing a little bit more activity from buyers right now. And just anecdotally, we just had one of our busiest weeks for buyers that we've had in some time, and that could just be due to increased affordability, people getting used to rates in the mid sixes, or even some people having fear of rates continuing to increase and going back into the sevens. And so we're seeing a little bit of fluidity in the market, especially on the buy side. So buyers, what you can expect is, like I said, increased affordability. You can still negotiate with sellers in some instances. There are some properties that are super desirable, and those are getting multiple offers, but you can still get repairs done. So buyers still have the advantage, but it's going to be a little bit more situational than it has been in previous months. If you're a seller, still expect longer days on market. Typically, if you've got a really good product and you price it accurately, you should expect increased activity. This is for single family homes. If you've got a townhome or condo and seen some of my previous videos, that market is still extremely challenging. So that really hasn't shifted at all. So sellers just, again, expect longer days on market, expect to have to negotiate, expect to have to cover buyers or some of buyers' closing costs. But if you've got a good product that you price accurately, there is the potential of multiple parties being interested in it. So now that we're getting out of the summer months, what we will typically see is an increase in inventory starting kind of late August and into September. So we see a little bit of a bump. So if you are a buyer that's been looking, you're going to see more inventory as we leave the summer months. If you're a seller, you're going to see an increase in competition, but hopefully increase in listing activity, increases the number of sales that take place in Phoenix before we see a steep drop off during the holidays. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. Don't forget to give a like and subscribe, and I will see you next month.